Funded by Kickstarter and developed by a new independent gaming studio from Australia, Armello is one of the most striking looking games to release in the last few years. League of Geeks have created something truly memorable and eye-catching, and it's translated into a compelling release that could become a sleeper hit come the end of this year. Set in a faraway kingdom filled with animals, the king has become afflicted by a mysterious, horrifying disease known as the rot. The rot will drain a soul and corrupt an individual to the point of madness, until the people around them no longer recognize what they've become. As his death draws near, great clans have banded together and called upon their heroes in their efforts to assume the throne. During these desperate times, they will do whatever is necessary to claim it. The aim of Armello is to become king or queen of the kingdom, whether you decide to take it by force, manipulation, cunning, or by becoming the throne's natural successor. You play as either Thane, a wolf with a Cloud Strife-esque supersized sword, Amber, a rabbit with a slightly smaller blade, and an umbrella, for reasons. There's also Mercurio, a sneaky rat who always has a plan, and Sana, a big cuddly bear who wields a staff with magic powers. Armello is a turn-based title that has elements of both role-playing and tabletop board games within it. Players must roll a dice and draw cards in order to progress their journey and perform actions. The game allows for up to 4 players to go head-to-head at any one time, and each character has a specific attribute, whether they can attack from range, or they have casting abilities, or if they would rather just use their wits rather than wills. The board itself is built around the King's Kingdom, the royal palace of Armello, and at the centre you'll see the king dying from the rot, roaring out commands to his subjects. Sometimes he'll send his guards out to fight heroes, placing bounties on their heads or demanding taxes from the people, or he'll place territory borders on nearby villages. The boards are always procedurally generated. Each game will always be fair, making sure the right balance of things are intact on the board, such as defensive positions and fair spawn points. Throughout Armello, you'll find dungeons which you can raid to claim money or find hidden gems. There'll also be traps set in unexpected locations to catch would-be adventurers off guard. Players will need to equip weapons, items of attributes, and develop talents within a tree unique to each character in order to build up their abilities. The game has over 100 different cards, each one does something different, and all of them are animated. Cards you pick up can have both positive and negative effects. You can recruit followers to your cause, set traps for unsuspecting players known as perils, get better weapons, stronger spells, and even create alliances. What's more, even when your turn has ended, you can still play cards on the board, or you can equip items to yourself while you're waiting for your turn to come back around and plan your next move. Strategy is a core part of the Armello experience. There are several ways for a hero to become king or queen of Armello. Either you gain enough followers and skills to face the king head-on in combat and seize the throne, or a player can also collect spirit stones which randomly pop up on the map during play and present 4 of them to the king in the hope of using their healing properties to cure him of the rot. You can also play the political route and become the king's right-hand man, performing his mad commands, positioning yourself for the greatest possible promotion. Or you can take on the taint of the rot and corrupt the land to become the master of darkness. You can adapt your hero as you see fit, and there's no set way to play the game or to be one character in particular. You'll find yourself fighting against players on the field, experimenting with card combinations and symbols, completing quests to gain necessary experience, and gaining footholds on the land. But there's even more to the Armello experience beyond that. The game has a day and night cycle which impacts the gameplay, meaning certain creatures will only come out at a different time, certain cards will only work at a certain time of the day, and the environment can also be used to an advantage. For instance, if you park yourself in trees or mountains, you can gain defensive advantages and also conceal yourself from the enemy. However, although there are some great aspects to Armello, there are some stumbling blocks. While the game has a prologue with story elements which serve as a tutorial of how to play, there is no direct campaign. You effectively play the game out as a match, with the quest changing your experience along the way, narrating your direction. And while that's great, I feel like there would be a more compelling, engaging world here. More could be done to tell us about that world, about the heroes, where the rot came from, What will happen to the kingdom if a certain clan takes control? And what about the rest of Armello? What do they think of the power struggle? League of Geeks mentioned on the Kickstarter that DLC was a possibility and that novellas were happening, so I look forward to seeing if they'll actually go ahead with this and really bring us into this world. I'm actually visualising the possibility of a full campaign where the player builds up to that final confrontation with the king. If you've ever played games like Hero Quest or Space Crusade, there are several missions you could play out before that final confrontation, so it'd be great to see some of that here perhaps in the future. As it stands, however, you can either play against AI in standalone matches or go online and test your skills against the rest of the world. With matches going on upwards of an hour, it's certainly compelling, it's time consuming, but it's also interesting as no match will ever be the same. However, I am concerned that the base package doesn't offer quite enough versatility in the modes for long-term replayability, and also the fact that local play did make it in from the off is massively disappointing. The good news is, from an expansive perspective, Armello has a ton of possibilities available to it, more than most games you see today, and it's this aspect of the game which makes it the most exciting. So whether League of Geeks keep adding new characters, adding new story quests, perhaps one where you're now ruling the kingdom and how you achieve that, new locations and maps, more cards, expanded talent trees, maybe even cross-platform play or cross-saving. Right now, however, Armello feels like the bare bones of something brilliant, and it's a game that you feel could be expanded upon and developed for years to come. Hell, I'd even like to play a physical version of the game. What we do have right now is something quite special. There's absolutely nothing like this out for PS4 right now, the closest thing being Hand of Fate, but even that's completely different. It's wonderful to see advanced strategy titles finally making their way onto consoles and becoming more part of the online experience. It's a fresh online game, and I genuinely feel like it could be a big hit if given the chance. Whether you're heading into battle burning cards to guarantee a specific action, or you're sitting back letting others fight each other while you gather stones, Armello does suit all playstyles, and it really does make this a game for everyone. It can seem a little intimidating from the off with so much going on at once, but once you've immersed yourself in the experience, you'll find everything comes together quite naturally. Still, I can't help but feel it does feel unfinished in places. Local multiplayer for a game like this should have been in from the start, especially on a generation where local multiplayer seems to have been all but neglected and forgotten about. Armello had a chance to be the exception, and it's a shame that it hasn't taken that chance. A more elaborate campaign would have also benefited the package, given us more of a background on the clans and the heroes and the world, and made the struggle against the king even more interesting. Still, as it's our speciality to talk about how a game can progress and develop from its release, there is plenty for us to get excited about for future patch reviews, content updates, DLC and more. In summary, if you want more real strategic spice on PS4 and a different kind of online gaming experience from your traditional runs on Destiny or COD, Armello is definitely the place to spend your money. League of Geeks clearly have huge plans for the game, and will be paying very close attention when they're ready to share them. And plus, there's cute animals. What more could you possibly want? Thanks for tuning in.